If you'd told me 6 months ago that the undoing of my marriage would begin at a child's birthday party, I would have laughed in your face. But there I was, juggling balloon animals and juice boxes at my niece's 7th birthday bash, completely unaware that my wife, Emma, was about to slip into a moment she'd never be able to take back. Emma and I had been married for nearly 9 years. Solid years. Not perfect, but what marriage is. We had our rituals: Wednesday takeout and wine, Saturday morning runs through the park, and bedtime conversations that sometimes drifted into the early morning hours. We were a team. Or at least I thought we were. The party was hosted at a local park. Kids ran around screaming with sugar-fueled glee, parents chatted in clusters, and someone had hired a photographer, one of those local guys with a portfolio full of vibrant candids and glowing testimonials. His name was Cole. Tall, lean, with a camera always hanging around his neck like it was some extension of his being. He was charming, in that kind of effortless way that made you like him immediately, or made you suspicious, depending on your lens. Emma introduced herself while I was helping my sister set up a bubble station. I noticed her lingering longer than usual near the gift table, her laughter carrying over the breeze a little too easily. I didn't think much of it at the time. She's always been the friendly type, the kind who makes fast friends in checkout lines. But something about the way she tucked her hair behind her ear while talking to him struck me. That nervous energy I hadn't seen in years. The kind of energy I used to think was reserved for me. Cole ended up snapping a lot of photos that day, and more than a few of Emma. I caught them reviewing shots together on his little digital screen while the kids whacked at a piñata. She smiled like she was 17 again, like something had been reawakened. I remember feeling a weird tightness in my chest. Not jealousy, exactly. More like a premonition. The party ended, balloons deflated, cake half-eaten, and Emma lingered. She offered to help Cole pack up. Said it was just a polite gesture. I waited by the car, watching their silhouettes through the slats of the gazebo. When she finally climbed into the passenger seat, she didn't say much on the drive home. That night she was different, restless, her thoughts somewhere else. She kissed me goodnight, but it was distracted, like her body was moving through muscle memory while her mind was still with him. I pushed the feeling down. Told myself I was overthinking. A few weeks later, my sister posted the party photos online. The one that caught my eye was a candid of Emma, just her, no kids, no context, laughing with her head thrown back, looking directly into the camera. It was intimate. Too intimate for something taken at a child's birthday party. Nice photo, I said casually while we scrolled through the album together. Oh, that one, she replied, brushing past it too quickly. He said it was just a lighting test. I nodded. But a seed had been planted. In the weeks that followed, Emma got more secretive. More errands on weekends. More late yoga classes. Less affection. Less us. I started noticing changes: a new perfume she never wore around me. A password change on her phone. The sudden reappearance of lingerie that hadn't been out of the drawer in years. But not for me. Then came the morning I found the folded brochure for a private photography session tucked between the pages of her book. Cole's studio. I stared at it, my heart thudding in my ears. There was no date on the flyer, no incriminating message. Just his name, a logo, and an invitation to capture your most intimate self. I didn't confront her right away. Instead, I started checking the shared calendar we used. Sure enough, she had marked off a 2-hour block on a random Thursday afternoon with nothing but appointment. I knew what it meant. I waited. Watched. That Thursday, I pretended to be on a work call and followed her. She wasn't going to the yoga studio. She wasn't going to the store. She drove straight to Cole's loft downtown. I parked half a block away and waited for what felt like a lifetime. 2 hours later, she came out. Her hair was tousled in that unmistakable way. Her cheeks flushed. And she was smiling, that same 17-year-old smile. I didn't follow her home. I didn't even cry. I just sat there, gripping the steering wheel, heart hollowed out, wondering how a man with a camera had captured the part of my wife I thought belonged only to me. After that Thursday, everything changed. Not for her, though. Emma still floated through the days like nothing had shifted. She still brewed her morning coffee, kissed me lightly on the cheek, and left her shoes by the door like always. But I had changed. Inside, I was unraveling. I didn't confront her right away. I wanted to understand why. I needed context answers, even if they wouldn't fix anything. That weekend, while she was out getting groceries, I found the password to her laptop. It took only 3 guesses. I wish it had taken more. There was a folder buried in her documents. In bloom, it was called. Inside were dozens of photos. Not casual shots. These were stylized, curated. Sensual. She wore things I hadn't seen in years. Lingerie, sheer robes, in some shots nothing at all. Cole's watermark was in the corner of each one, like he was signing his ownership of the moment. Some photos were taken against exposed brick, others in soft light near a bed I didn't recognize but knew all too well. Her expression in them wasn't guilt. It wasn't regret. It was surrender. That night, I didn't sleep. By morning, I had packed a bag, rented a hotel room nearby, and texted her that I was working late. The lie came easier than it should have. I needed space. Distance from the version of her I'd just discovered. But I didn't stay gone. No, I came back the next day. And I came back with a plan. We had dinner like usual, except I didn't eat. I watched her. Studied her hands as they lifted the wineglass, her lips as she talked about work. She asked about my day. I said, fine, and nothing more. I think she noticed the tension. I think she ignored it, too. That Sunday, she said she had another appointment. Studio's got a quick shoot. He asked if I could step in. He's building a new portfolio. I nodded, kept my face still. Need a ride? She laughed nervously. No, I'm good. He's picking me up. That was her first mistake. When the knock came, I opened the door. Cole stood there, camera slung over one shoulder, clearly not expecting me. His confident smirk faltered when he saw my face. Cole, I said, stepping aside. Come in. He hesitated. But Emma appeared behind me, already dressed, cheeks flushed. Oh, she said, voice cracking. You're home early. Change of plans, I replied. The air grew heavy. I gestured to the couch. Have a seat. Neither of them moved. So I did. I pulled out the printed photos. Not all of them, just a few. The ones that said everything words couldn't. I laid them out on the table like evidence in a courtroom. You want to explain these? I asked. Emma's hand flew to her mouth. Cole stepped back, as if proximity might absolve him. I was going to tell you, she whispered. When? I said. After the next shoot? After your next pose? Silence. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't throw anything. The quiet in that room was louder than any scream could have been. I looked at Cole, then at her. You know what hurts the most? I said. It's not that you cheated. It's that you didn't even hesitate. Emma sat down slowly, her eyes brimming but no tears fell. It wasn't supposed to happen. But it did. Cole finally spoke. Look, man. No, I cut him off. You don't get to speak. You get to leave. And you don't come back. He looked to Emma for backup, but she didn't meet his eyes. Cole left. I stood there for a long time, staring at the door. Emma tried to explain. She talked about feeling invisible, about wanting to feel seen again, about how the camera made her feel alive. I didn't argue. I didn't beg. I just listened. Then I told her I'd be filing for divorce. There was a flicker of defiance in her at first. Then something else. Resignation, maybe. She didn't fight it. She didn't apologize, either. I moved out a week later. Packed what I needed. Left behind what I didn't. The hardest part was seeing our wedding photos still on the nightstand, smiling versions of us frozen in time, blissfully unaware of what the future held. It's been 3 months since that day. I've started running again. Cooking for one. Learning how to exist in a space that's just mine. Some days are quieter than others. Some nights are heavy. But I've also rediscovered parts of myself I hadn't seen in years. The parts that don't need to compete with a camera lens for validation. Emma? Last I heard, she's still doing shoots. She called once. I didn't answer. Some betrayals don't deserve closure. They deserve distance. And I've finally learned how to hold that space for myself.